yeah, let's get back to Bluestory though, fam. So what's the outcome for this now, man?
Well, firstly, we don't have enough information, innit?
We don't.
Because the reality is, we don't know if it happened at the actual screening or the screening of Frozen 2.
But either way, whether it happened or not, bro, why is it getting banned regardless?
But I'm saying we don't know the full story.
It's an easy target.
Yeah, but I don't like the reason why. I don't understand why the media associating it with the film, or maybe the CEO of View is associating it, because wasn't it him that came out and banned it and said, yeah, he's not having this in the cinema.
The View man, fam. Well, go on for
the View man.
I have to say though, man, like, as a community, we need to start doing more positive films though, man.
So what kind of films would you suggest?
I don't know, like every movie that I see,
Yeah,
an
it's true,
independent
everything's
movie, it's all
always
gang
gang-related,
movies.
All right, but hold on. When Asher D and
I said this in the clock. Go on. I know what you're gonna say. Go on. I said
and
this
No
in
Clark,
Mm-hmm.
No Clark had the what was it? Was it
Police thing.
bulletproof?
Bulletproof,
Yeah.
Bulletproof, fam.
Yeah.
They're policemen
Yeah.
fighting crime. Well, how much support did that really get?
That's what I said to him in the car.
What do you mean?
How much support did it get, bro?
What do you mean how much support?
I watched it.
Same.
But I'm saying
I
how
did
many
not
people
watch that.
ran out? How many people ran out? To
I
watch
intended
that,
to
bro?
watch it,
I mean,
but
it was a series.
it
Though.
didn't stay on
It
the
was a
timeline for
series.
long
So
enough.
wait,
But either way-
So because of that, we must keep feeding the negativity.
No, we don't have to feed it. But like, if we're gonna keep putting positive stuff out and then we don't support the positive stuff, how can you continue
But
to
it
make
don't
positive
change
stuff?
overnight. Everybody knows negativity sells more than positivity. Yeah? So it
There's
don't change
that.
overnight.
But that's the reason
No,
why
there's-
people are
there's
trying to
that.
make money as well.
There's that side of it, but it's also things have to be relatable.
Yeah.
Like when you put things into our community that matter that represent our community that matter to us, we're gonna be drawn to it.
Yeah,
I said this in the
100,
Like,
100.
do you get what I'm saying? Like,
And
if you was to put a show of a teenage kid who's a footballer or a basketballer who came up through nothing, everyone would watch it because they might know that they've got a brethren, or they might have tried to do that journey themselves.
yeah.
Like, there's only so many things, and that's been done how many times
So you said we
already.
shouldn't do the police
So
thing.
it's like,
'Cause we're not relatable with the police right now. That there comes in the next 10 years.
Nah, but you see, when we look at the community, I think we just focus on one side of it. Not every child is in a
But
gang.
football is a prime thing that would be a positive that we can get.
But where's
to,
the movies
because
about
everyone
football?
plays football.
listen, at the end of the day, it's only one side of it, as I'm saying, because there are very successful lawyers, doctors. We can go through the whole thing. So for us to say football, but at the end of the day, it's what we're drawn to, innit? And if you look right now at what's going on in all of the hoods all over London, the gang thing is a very serious thing. Like, all of us in this room know somebody or know somebody that knows somebody that's been
in a gang, yeah.
first-hand touched by that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a lot more sensitive. So at the end of the day, things that are more sensitive are going to get bigger reactions.
So what are we trying to do with these movies?
Watch them.
Make money.
Yeah, they're trying to make money.
this is the
Just trying to
question,
watch
isn't it? Because, for example, if I'm a director, right, and I know that if I put this type of movie out, it's not the best for the scene, but I'll make money from it.
But he's saying along
Say
with
the same
this
thing with
movie-
music, by the way. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah, but with this movie, he's saying that he's tried to tackle everything: the mental health, the road. Do you get what I'm
Too much
saying?
information in one
Has
movie.
anybody? No one's seen it. No one's seen
Oh
it.
yeah.
It's too much.
No, but you know
That's
what?
too
though?
much
It's
information.
information.
We're planning. We're actually meant to go see, as a team to go see that. No, yeah,
Smoke.
we're going to see it.
I agree with you on that as well, innit? I said this to Esteban when we was on our way here, and I said, yeah, there's a lot of messages behind the whole crime thing that's like meant to be the main narrative, innit?
Yeah.
But I think one of the arguments that I had with like in support of what Stephen is saying is like, I understand there's all these messages in these films, yeah, but the people who are involved in these, like, say, school children or maybe like 14, 15, 16, are they smart enough or are they articulate enough to be able to dissect and understand the hidden stories behind the main messages of, like, crime?
That's
Because,
true.
like, for example, with Top Boy, we understand there's situations of, like, going through poverty, helping your mum because she's broke, all them underlying stories that contribute to the reason why people get involved in these things, innit? But the people that age group, can they understand those hidden messages the way we do? Because we're a lot older.
But they shouldn't understand it because they shouldn't even be watching it anyway.
No, but the thing is, you got to remember.
But
Hold
they're the
on.
ones it's for.
But hold on. Top Boy isn't. Wasn't that like a 12
rating
or
is
15?
that film?
Probably a 15.
Probably a 15. I
But
would
the
say
thing is,
15.
can a 15-year-old see beyond just that? Is my point.
Some of them can.
Some of them can, but not all.
But if you're going to watch the
but
majority,
what's this though? But some,
Exactly.
No,
I
but
think the
some
majority are
adults,
not.
some adults can't as well.
that's
Some
right.
people are just not there.
I
Like,
agree.
Not being
but more adults can see compared to those that can't.
you know
But
what
with
it
the
is, yeah?
people that
The
age,
question
it's
is,
more
yeah?
children can't see compared to those that
When
can.
these 15-year-olds or 16, whatever it is, they're watching these movies, do you think they're looking at it and going, Yeah, I need to change my life, you know.
No, they look at the crud.
Yes.
My point exactly.
They'll be
My
looking
point
at
exactly.
It's like, Russ, why don't he can bust his head with
Yeah.
that piece of machine there?
And then when they're saying that, they're missing vital. You get what I'm saying?
Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lie. Certain time when I was watching,
upgrade my team.
right, you can really knock man out with that. What if you hit him just that part?
Then when you go out, you're gonna try that, innit?
You know what?
It's mad.
Another prime example is Don't Be a Menace, fam. Don't Be a Menace has got bare messages in there. But how many
I
messages?
need to watch that again as an adult. To be
That's
fair.
what I'm saying. So how many?
Do you know what?
How
Which
many?
one?
One second. How many messages was you taking in
Which
when
one?
you was younger?
Which one?
Don't Be a Menace, fam.
Which one though?
What one?
Don't Be a Menace
The
is the
first one.
is the comedy.
Yeah.
The
Comedy.
comedy.
Yeah. So what other Don't Be a Menace?
No,
is
there's
there?
two.
There's
There's
two.
a serious one. Don't be a menace.
That's-
And
yeah.
No,
there's-
Menace
Menace
to
to
Society.
Menace to Society.
Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
Menace
Menace
to
to
Come on,
Society.
man.
L.
Yeah. Dash that L over there, man. You get me?
Wait, but Don't Be a Menace is a comedy though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what.
There's
There's
got messages in there.
a
though.
lot of
I've got a
messages
better
in the
example.
comedy.
Because
See
it's
what I'm
a
saying? He don't. He missed the message.
No, but
Go watch it tonight.
No, but listen what I'm saying, yeah.
Well,
What
I
you
said
call it?
message.
It's built
Message.
off menace
Yeah,
to
yeah.
society.
No, it's built off boys
It's
in
built
the
off.
hood.
It's built.
Boys in the Hood,
No.
Menace to Society,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, all of them.
South Central.
Yeah.
What's the
South
South Central one?
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
Don't be a Menace.
it's called
Don't be a
South
Menace to
Central.
Society while drinking juice in the hood.
Yeah.
All
Sorry
that.
about that.
But
South Central.
in that film, obviously, it's just a lot of comedy and maybe a lot of foolishness, but there is serious hidden messages
what's mad,
behind
yeah?
No,
it.
you're right. You're right.
A
That's
lot.
true. And I think, like, I was
I'm
gonna say,
catching
go on.
it's coming back to me. No, go on.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That feels nuts.
Yeah, the film's not. The
Have
film's
any
not-
of you watched Fresh Prince as an adult?
Yeah. I still watch.
Do you know how many messages and things you
Messages.
can learn from that show that I never
I'm not
clocked
gonna.
when I
I've
watched it?
become a gallus because of Will Smith.
If
And
you
Steve.
watch Fresh Prince, yeah, there's so many different things in there and different scenarios you can relate to and think about in it. Because you gotta remember, like, Phil's a dad always complaining at these lot, saying you gotta do this, you gotta do that, blah blah blah. Will goes through all these trials and tribulations or whatever, girl situations, whatever, and even my wife and kids as well. There's so many things
that
in
was a
there
good one. That's
you
a good
can
one.
learn. Or you realize that, like, the messages that were in there when you watch it as an adult.
So then we do
Hold
have
on,
positive stuff.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So then we got, we got
my G.
about where's our positive
but
shows.
right
We're just
now-
reeling them off now.
reeling
What are you
Wait,
saying?
Wait.
There's positivity in it, yeah?
Yeah.
But the people that need it now.
And it's there now.
it's there though.
Netflix, go.
I
boom.
know,
But I understand it as an adult. When
He
I was
understands it as
when
an
I was
adult
younger,
now.
I wasn't clocking the
Yeah,
messages.
he wasn't
Okay,
talking.
That's
okay.
my
So
point.
let me show you like this, yeah.
Go
So
on.
basically, what you're saying is this, yeah. These teenagers need to understand now what they're not gonna understand until they're older. That's not gonna. That's
Ooh, that's a.
All right.
You get what I'm saying?
You know what?
I get what you're
because
saying.
at the end of the day,
That's
look, I can go
He's
further
got
than
a
that. I
point,
can
he's
go
got a
further than
point.
that.
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
I
That's
can
fine.
go further than that. Our parents, we didn't need a film. Our parents said, ABC, do this. ABC, do that.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And what did we do? We grew up. We did what we were gonna do anyway.
No, but the-
So it's the
Only
same
now.
thing.
Wait,
When your mum says certain say it.
One
Go
second.
on.
Go on.
But the reality is, yeah, not every child is a gangster, innit?
True.
Yeah.
So
Get 'em.
what's happening there?
What's happening there in regards to what?
Because you're saying that they're not going to understand it now, but clearly some kids do.
Some kids are listen. This whole street thing's a serious thing. Some kids are growing up with PTSD.
No,
they don't even know what it is right
No,
now.
I get that. And
Do you
I
know
know
what I'm
that
saying?
some kids are coerced into these groups. I get
Yeah.
all of that.
So
But
not-
the point
so-
is, yeah, for every child that's in a gang, there's a child who's going to uni and it's not being celebrated. But when we're constantly
Who's
looking
not
at these-
celebrating their kids in uni?
But all the
No, but
movies that are coming out,
Yeah, that's what we're
What
talking
is
about
it
in the
looking at?
movies. These things aren't really spoken about that much in like the movies. But at the
Nah,
same
man.
time, on the flip side, it's like, I'm not gonna lie, them things just don't sell.
Yeah,
but this is what I'm asking, isn't it? From
Alright,
a director
Remember that bit
Alright,
in,
alright,
in
cool.
Don't Be a
So-
Menace when my man graduated. They say they don't
Yeah.
graduate after 21. And he graduated and he get shot.
But
You
you know
shouldn't
what?
laugh at that bit.
Alright,
But that's why. But that's what it is though.
But you know what? This
No,
slightly
because-
comes back to the music conversation about us growing up our children. Then,
Yeah.
So you see, like, you see, like, okay, is it for us now to not ban them from watching certain things, and then we can watch movies with them and educate them while, like, did you understand? Like, let's say I sat down and I get it. Don't Be a Man. It's got bare swearing. It's got bare fuckery in it, but it's still got serious messages in there. So if we was to sit down with our kid and say, do you know what that meant? When he
But
said
that's a bit
about-
annoying, isn't it?
It can be annoying.
So basically, man
You
saying
get
we
what I'm
should
saying?
we should do case studies with movies.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
what you're saying?
basically.
But
Basically,
then, and music as well, though. Music. All across
Well, sit
the
down
board.
and say, did you understand what he
No,
said?
no, no,
there?
but not
Did you get
necessarily.
that?
Did
Did
you
you
get
get that?
that?
Eight? Did you get that?
But
Eight?
you know what?
I'm
It could-
joking,
it
but I
could
hear
be
what
a
you're
bit
saying.
mad.
No, I get what you mean.
It could be a bit mad,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if we just leave them to their own devices and allow them to
They
listen
can
to it,
misinterpret
No,
what
Yeah.
was
no,
said.
but that's the thing with parenting. Leaving children of any intellectual level to their own devices is dangerous.
Yeah, yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's a part to play, but it's like at the end of the day, you've got two decisions. There's some parents will censor their children from everything. You're not allowed iPad. You're not allowed this. You can't do that. You can't drink fizzy drink. Like,
and they become the worst kind of
worse.
So it's a balance now. It's like, where do you sit on it? Do you get what I'm saying? Like you can't, because me personally, I treat my daughter like how I would have wanted to be treated if I was her at this age. And me, I'm not a person that can be caged up. The more you try and cage me up, so I don't. Do you get what I'm saying? But different people are react different ways. But at the end of the day, so it's like, if we don't have these movies, then someone gets on the bus and goes into an ends thinking the ends is like their ends, and come home without everything they left their house. So do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to show. You can't just say, okay, let's all now like.
No, what you're saying is absolutely true. I'm saying there should be a balance in it. It can't always be negative, innit? Show some positive sides as well. Because every movie that we try to bring out as a as a community is always gang culture.
Yeah, but even look, hold on.
It's just hit me.
Top Boy, the brother that ended up in the younger brother, the three brothers.
I said this.
The middle brother was in uni.
Yeah, he was.
And then what happened though?
Doesn't matter. He was still doing his thing.
But
what he's saying is
he was doing his thing.
Man glimpsed the positivity. It's
but,
not.
But
you know what I'm
even
saying?
with the older
Why did they
brother-
show the uni and
but-
the homework and?
but
he did it. The thing was in his book.
But wait. Even though when he was in uni, look how soft they made him look.
But wait 1 second.
So what you saying? We need gangster.
What you say? He should have been in his.
Man didn't have no.
Man should have been on the 2-1 on my thing.
2-1 off.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know
you see Jamie's character,
Nah, man.
You see Jamie's character.
Yeah.
Even though he was on the road,
Yeah.
he was still a positive character, bro. Because he's still looking after. He's doing what he
Positive?
needs. No,
Big man,
because
come on.
Who we talking about?
Wait,
Who
let
we
me,
talking about?
let me explain.
Go on.
Because at the end of the day,
What character are you talking about? Sorry,
Jamie. So I'm saying, cool. He's on the
He
road.
had morals, fam.
He's on the road. Exactly. He's got morals, but he's. If you want to look at it like this, he has to be on the road in order to take care of his family.
So wait, if your son said, "Dad, I want to be like him," what are you saying to that?
Bro, it can't be the same scenario.
No. Because you're saying he's being positive.
He's not even trying to hear that. I rate this.
I'm telling you, I'm not
both
hearing
his
that.
parents are dead,
but
though.
exactly, my point exactly. Both of his parents is dead. So now he has to look after these children.
Yeah.
So, bro, so the situation he's in
But
is
wait.
like, cool. No, he can get a job. It's cool.
No, it's not that. But do we know that's the reason why he's on the road?
Bro,
Yeah,
he
but he said it
said
before,
bro,
we was watching. He said it.
He
Said
said,
what?
bro, that he has to fend, bro. He has
to fend for his
sole
brothers and that
provider
because
of
his
these
parents are
youths.
dead.
Yeah.
He's sole
Parents
provider
died.
of
That's
these
why-
youths.
that's why he jumped on
So
the
he
road.
went on the road to provide for family, and he made sure both his brothers were in school, in uni.
Yeah.
Because of him,
That's why he's so strict on them.
they maintained their thing. He went to the parents' evening.
So wait,
he badded up teachers.
Okay,
he done right things.
cool. So that was the only way.
I'm not saying
It's the only way he saw.
At his age, that's all he knew.
Okay, no, that's a
all he
good
knew.
point. No, wait, that's
saw.
a good point. It's the only way he saw. Why is that?
Because
Because of
he
his
was-
environment, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
100%.
Thank you. Because of what? All the negativity that you saw around him, right?
Yeah.
But he still
Thank
done
you.
something.
That's what I'm saying.
Look,
Listen,
but
listen.
he still made a positive and a
Balance,
negative.
balance provides choice.
Balance provides choice.
Wait,
but
how
are you,
did he- go on.
but are you gonna tell me? Are you honestly gonna tell me, yeah, that a you that lives in an estate in a ghetto has the same choices as a you living in the suburbs somewhere in a 4-bedroom house?
in Essex.
What was his brother doing though?
Huh?
His brother, what was he doing?
He was living in the estate.
But was he not studying?
Yeah, because his older brother was telling him.
Because his older brother. We're talking about the older brother now. We're talking about the older brother now. Like
Okay,
you.
wait, you're saying that there's a you that live in a state has the same chances in terms of what? Give me
Okay,
the
all right, cool. Okay, right. Now, what I'm saying is this: yeah, there's a you that lives in an estate in any which ends that suits you, with no parents. Yeah, right. And he's from that area. He's obviously his social network is in that area. etc. And there's a you that lives in Essex. I like the way you sent for my ends. yeah. There's a lot of shade. The live show's going off. The live show's going off. I'm holding everything back. Don't post nothing. Two of them. Right? Anyway, in Essex with his social circle and no parents, you think they've got the same? Do you think they've got the same reach?
There's a lot of people there that are crackheads.
Answer the question, man.
No, but wrong or right?
No, but you have to
Answer the question.
You have to answer the question.
Do you think they have the
Wait,
same
I tell you what,
choices,
no,
the same
no.
options
I tell you
available
what,
to
yeah,
them?
Maybe like 7 out of 10 times no.
Okay.
But it exists,
So,
right?
so you want to talk about the one time?
But that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Nah, man.
But he.
So
but,
wait.
What did
Wait,
you
you
say?
can't-
Like at the end of the day, what I want to know, I want to say is this. My stance is this. There's everyone has an opinion of what a ghetto is. Yeah. At the end of the day, when you talk about ghetto, to me, you're talking about Jamaica. You're talking about the Section 8 ends. That's a ghetto. But here we have to accept that we do have ghettos, And in the ghetto, like your network is your net worth, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So your social circle are your options. What you know is your options. So what you're gonna know and what your social circle is gonna know when you're being from the bits to when you're being from out of ends where people aspire to much more. Anyone can have. Listen, the biggest druggies are rich people. Like what we're saying. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm not. But that's what I'm saying to you. So at the end of the day, if we come back and we're saying, what did you say? 7 out of 10 or 9 out of 10? Which one did you say?
7 out of 10.
So if we're talking about something, we're trying to make a movie that's realistic. Are we gonna say, well, the 7 out of 10 times is more realistic to show these people, or should we show them the 3 times out of 10?
So you're not telling me that this director doesn't know better than his environment?
You've lost me.
I don't know. He's from
I'm talking about Jamie, the character.
No, but what I'm saying is we're talking about the movie.
So you're talking about Ratman now, yeah?
The movie, yeah.
Okay.
Are we not saying that he hasn't been exposed? He doesn't know better than his environment.
But
I'm telling you, he's making a movie.
Because he's got power.
I'm telling you, he's making a movie. I'm telling you, he's making a movie for his environment. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
He's making a movie and he's going with the 7 out of 10 rather than going at 3.
Purpose?
No, but Esteban, his story, because he was on radio and he said this, his story that he creates is stories that he knows of. These are real stories, fam. It's not he's not making this up, fam.
No one's saying that.
Yeah, but
so what are you saying?
If he's storytelling,
He said, what's his purpose of this movie?
What is he trying
to make money?
achieve?
But listen, if he can make this movie, the first movie, cool. If it's violence, whatever, blah blah blah, and it blows up. Remember, now he's got Jay-Z backing him. He's got certain people's backings now. Yeah, he can make this one blow off in the cinema. Boom. Next one, maybe who knows? The next one, he might just say, you know what? I could switch it around. I've got the support of the people. I've got the money.
We're talking a lot about a movie that none of us have seen. I'm just putting that out there. So it's hard.
That is true. That's
it's
why
hard
I
for me to
I haven't seen it yet. That's why I'm saying,
which is why I started talking about Top Boy, because everyone's kind of seen that. And I think that's why we kind of went to whatever. But at the end of the day, to speak to what you're saying about people and the purpose and whatever, you want to make something, as a artist, a producer, a writer, a director. You want to make something that people are going to love. I don't think for the money works, because if he goes and makes something and people just buy it and no one cares about it and it doesn't live very long, or people that are not even in his demographic, people that are nowhere in anything to him, and it's not going to do nothing. You don't go down in it. So I would find it hard to believe that a man came to this being the first thing that he's done since he's been signed to Rock Nation, etc., thinking I just need to hit the bag.
No, but not just him. Look at everybody else that's tried to put a movie out from our community. What movie is it?
But then you could say, what songs are we making? Everyone's making the same song.
Are you sure? Are you sure that it's not because those are the films that you're noticing? Because there could be other movies out there.
There has to be.
Tell me.
No, but same
like
applies to me.
No, but this is what I'm saying.
Yesterday I went to...
These are movies that I know because I can relate to it.
Yeah, yesterday I went to...
Do you know any positive movies out there made by our community?
But when you say positive, you talk about like movies
non-gang related.
Non-gang related. Yeah. Bend it like Beckham. It's non-gang related, isn't it? A girl can be a footballer too. Like positive.
Beckham, boy, that's the Asian community still.
I was thinking that's
no, but where was it based?
In Asia.
Like, what's it
have you seen it? I ain't even seen it. I don't even know.
Bend it like Beckham shows.
Do you know what? At the end of the day,
when I say the UK, it's a positive movie. But if we don't gravitate towards it, because we don't relate to it.
I'm not talking about UK. I'm talking about black UK. Like,
okay, so I want to make a point. Yesterday, I went to that UK Entertainment Awards, and there was a category for best short film or whatever. I hadn't seen none of them.
Yeah, I don't watch short.
So some of them, like, basically, we're just typecasting what gets popular, and I think that's the problem. The negative things are just what gets popular. I don't think we can say people are only making films that are negative. It's just the negative stuff is more popular, and that's the real problem. We have to look at ourselves. If we want to blame somebody, why are we only talking about? Why do we only know this? It can't be that no positive films have been made. Like, come on.
Reality.
There's definitely got to be positive content out there.
There
somewhere.
is.
I hope there is, man, because I haven't seen them.
I swear Michael Dapper's got like some skits on YouTube as well.
We're talking about movies. Michael Dapper sings good though. Michael Dapper sings funny.
It's called Somewhere in London or something like that. It's a comedy thing.
Yeah.
So just movies.
Because that's what...
Well, Top Boy's not a movie, so why are we bring that into the category, into the conversation?
True.
What?
Top Boy's not a movie, so why are we bring that to the conversation?
It's a movie, man. It's a movie. It's just got 10 parts to it. No, but it's just the most... Like I said, at the end of the day, we're talking about the most popular things, and we're probably all going to leave here, and someone's going to go, oh my God.
Yeah,
like, there's definitely something we're not talking about.
You know what it is, yeah? I think if you look at the youngsters, yeah, I just believe in giving them choices, innit? And if they're constantly only seeing one thing, automatically, when they get to a certain age, they're gonna believe that's the only choice they have.
But that's only if your youngsters watch movies and believe that the movies is the truth. It's not. It's down to the parenting. It's not down to what you put on television.
Come on, man. You know
it's
that
not,
it's not
man.
everything that the kids are doing. The parents know.
Yeah, but
And
it's not down to the. But it's not down to. It's not down. Personal opinion. It's just not down to movies to dictate to your children who they can and can't be. It's down to the parents.
I said choice.
So what? So what they watch is who they're gonna be. Because I disagree.
Wait, are we not saying that your environment is what defines you?
I'm lost. Yeah.
Isn't that what you said? That.
Yeah. I said that.
Let's wrap this one up.
Yeah.
Let me get some
You
wine.
got lost, fam.
It's finished.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, waste, man.
This is a good debate still.
It was a back
like a bare arm wrestle. I don't know who's really winning.
It's a good debate still. But you know what? Another thing that happened on a mad thing that I see was Dot Rotten hotting up J1. Anyone see that?
I saw that still.
About not paying for a 15 bag beat, fam.
15 grand.
It's been the last couple of days. He's been hotting him up on the.
But what's wrong with that
timeline,
though?
bro.
That's how much my thing's worth, innit? What are you talking about?
Well,
Pay-
that's what Dot Rotten saying, like, brother.
There's
like,
so much worth,
boom.
innit?
But I don't know.
What was the situation, though? Is it a case
J1
where-
saying, well, they're saying it's something to do with the label. Like Dot Rotten saying you got to deal with J1 saying you got to deal with the label. Like, but that wasn't the agreement we had at the beginning when boom, boom, boom.
Is he
But
signed?
now I think he signed. But I know of recently was doing a tune with Still Bangles. So that's what Dot Rotten saying. Boy, you and Still Bangles done what blah blah blah. But this is going through the label. But obviously it's his beat. So he's like, when him and Still Bangles were doing what they were doing and whatever, no one went looking at them. Now you got to pay the beat because he said he's put it through to the label. Like that's the price of it, innit?
So
But I don't think J1 knows that was the price for it.
So the first question is, did they have the agreement before he was signed, or was it after?
They're not letting out that information. All of
Okay.
this videos that
Secondly,
they're doing online is.
Is it a case of whereby he's gone, okay, I like that beat, and the man said to him, okay, cool, I'll give it to you, and whatever song you make of it, we can split the proceeds? Or is it a case of, I like that beat, okay, I'll pay for it?
Do you know what it
Just not
sounds
now.
like? You know what it sounds like more? It sounds like, listening to Dr. Rotten's rants on the videos, it sounds more like they've done what they've done together and left it for the labels to deal with. Fam.
Yeah.
That's what it
I
sounds
think there's
like.
a miscommunication.
There's a
9 times
miscommunication.
out of 10, that's what happens.
All right. And
That's
that's
what happens. 'Cause
exactly what
you don't
me,
go into a creative process thinking about splits. You just do it.
Yeah, you just do it.
And then you pass it to managers or whoever, which is why it's weird that they're having this conversation
Online,
in public.
In public.
Do you get what I'm
That's
saying?
what I'm saying. And I know J1 was in the studio with Still Bangles. Like them two were together making a beat or whatever, or doing a tune. But now for all of this come out and just of all of the videos that's going around, it just sounds like this is a label problem. Why
That's
are you
the
two
wrong
beefing?
place to be doing that, though, man.
Online, it's mad. And then you're exposing how much
That's a
beats
young
are.
boy as well.
The beats are expensive still, you know, 15 bags, fam.
But them man
Yo,
are
you
making
better make
beat,
sure your
though.
track goes #1. Because that's expensive for a beat, fam.
It's expensive, but then when you work
But
out
I
how
get
much
it.
money these men are actually
Yeah, of
making.
course.
Yeah,
That's true.
And I
what
seen
I'm
certain-
saying.
Getting a show and all
I've
of
seen
these
certain
things.
comments like J5 said, boy, 15 bags for a beat. That's if you're dealing with me,
That's the same
that's
thing. Yeah.
light, fam. Like,
To be
Yeah,
fair, that's what
100%.
like Rome said.
Life,
Innit? If he believes his beat's worth 50, that's him. Innit?
yeah, no, it's simple. Like, obviously, and Dr. Ron's been out here for time, innit? He's been in the game for a long time.
Very long time.
So you would expect 15 bags sounds light, to be fair. I ain't got 15 bags, but man's in the industry and labels have got to deal with what labels got to deal with. 15 bags don't sound like a lot.
Honestly, it's
Just going off
light,
topic
you
for a
know.
little bit. Like I don't really know the music industry like that. What are the benefits of being independent and being signed?
I think you got to ask Illness that one more. You're more closer to the industry than us.
Right about now in today, it's a bit of a blurred line because back in the day, like you'd have had a whole machine putting your CDs here, doing all of the legwork. Do you get what I'm saying? But now it's like there are almost what was like within a label before, everything's branched off. So whereas labels might have had in-house promotions companies, even the promotions companies or club promotions, they're all kind of branched off. So it's kind of a blurred line. If you know what you're doing, you don't need a label. A label is just a team of people that are going to run around and do the legwork that you and maybe 5 of your brethren that know, and it's important they know what they're doing, can do. But at the end of the day, one of the benefits that still hasn't gone away is if you've got, I don't know, think of the biggest artist in the world. If you've got Drake, not that it's easy to get Drake
That's an issue.
on your label. It's
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we don't do no.
but I'm just saying, like, I don't know what happened over there.
Call him up, man. What is it?
what do you say?
What? I said we're dealing with Drake right now.
Are we dealing with Drake and not Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
He's UK.
It's UK, bro.
Oh, so we're dealing with UK. You said biggest in the world.
Yeah, who's the
I
biggest
said
in
that.
the
I
world?
was just drawing for anyone. We can have Ed Sheeran if it's a problem.
Ed Sheeran,
The Drake's
Ed
will
Sheeran.
set someone.
Ed Sheeran's not out here
You
like
said we're
that.
not dealing
Well,
with
he's out here, bro. He just made a tune with Stormzy.
No,
fam.
he's out here, but he's not out here.
Stormzy
He's
then.
chilling
Let's
at
just
home.
say you got.
Stormzy.
Let's say you got Stormzy on your label, okay? Just
Yeah, yeah.
for political correctness.
Stormzy's not the biggest
And
in the
you're in
world,
a label, and Stormzy is, I don't know, headlining
Glastonbury.
No, but when I say it starts getting a bit more technical, but let's just say for argument's sake, he's headlining a festival,
Yeah.
and he's on your label, and they're setting up and say, "Oh, we want to get him." Then he can say, "All right, cool. Well, this person's on my label, that person's on my label." Basically, the way you can think about it, it's like technically the people on your label become your brethren. So imagine like we're a label now,
Label gives
and
you
I've got this plug over here. I'm plugging all of you, man, in
everyone, all of your
before them independent people way at the back of the queue over. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's all them. So, like, when it comes to back in the days, like when it used to come to like your placing in the shelving and all of that, where you're going to be on iTunes, because they're dealing with labels. You're just independent.
So the
You
label
don't
can
have
get
that
you
rapport.
to
Do
a
you
certain
know what I'm saying?
place.
But it's like where the internet has flipped everything on his head, which is why I said when you know what you're doing, it's like, for example, someone like AJ Tracy is so popping. He don't need some people to ask for him.
Oh, he's independent.
He's independent.
People
yeah.
are asking, like, whereas back in the day, he would have had to beg a favor. People are going straight to him. They don't need to go through there. They can see him live. And you know what I'm saying?
D-Block
D-Block Europe,
D-Block
another one.
Europe, come on.
Like, they're doing, they done Ali Pali, was it 2 or 3 days themselves?
2 days still 10K sold out.
But
you get what I'm
are they
saying?
really independent?
Yeah.
though?
But
Oh,
this
the
is
ends
what I'm
as well.
saying.
Because are they not
So-
underneath
so-
D-Block?
Well, that was
They're underneath
they
D-Block,
were.
fam. That's why
I
they're
think
D-Block
they
Europe.
were D-Block Europe because they signed to
D-Block.
D-Block
Yeah.
originally, but I don't think that connection
They're
is
not
still
there
there.
no more.
But they've just kept the name.
Okay,
You know what I'm
makes
saying?
sense.
So they're still doing their thing or whatever. So yeah, but what ends up happening is, whereas now everything's online, you just need the plug to like the label are going to the people to put it online. The label's not doing it themselves, so you can just go straight yourself.
Another thing I've seen is people are signing distribution deals. How does that work?
Basically,
Because they're saying they're independent, it's just a distribution deal.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That's why technically you're signed at that point.
Right.
Because I've got my own label, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to Sony to distribute. So basically what then happens is Sony don't make no decisions for me. I make all my own decisions.
Okay.
But
They just push it.
they put it through their networks
Channels.
and do all of that thing. And for that, they take a smaller, a way much smaller percentage.
Right, okay.
So they're eating. And then the moment you've got a distribution deal and it's benefiting a label for you to sell, you're technically signed, because anything that they can do for you, they can do for you because it benefits them. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if it's 5%, like, I'm not saying that labels are doing it that low, but even if it's 5%, like, it benefits them. So at that point there, it's in their interest to start hooking things for you where they can.
Got you.
Okay.
So it's not so being signed in, because obviously normally when you hear it, people make it out like it's a bad thing, right? It's just more about the percentages, isn't it?
The thing is, you can be signed and have a really bad deal where you're not even seeing a lot of the
And
money that's
you
being
hear
made.
a lot of people have bad deals
We've
after
come a long
like
way.
5-6 years of being in the deal.
Yeah.
And then when they're making the P's or they want to change certain things because of what they originally signed,
Yeah.
it fucks
They
them
don't
up
have
in
much
the long run.
maneuverability.
And you got to think about it. If you first come in the game and you're a sick artist or whatever, and you don't know too much about the game, you might just sign something.
Yeah,
You might,
Because they
You
might
might
throw a
sell your
figure
stuff.
at
they
you
might
and
throw
then
a
you
mad
just
figure
say,
that you've
yeah,
never
but the thing
seen.
is,
And they're
like,
They can give you an advance.
The thing is, yeah.
Go on.
No, go.
I was
You
gonna say they
start
could give you an advance, and then you got to cover all these different other overheads.
Yeah.
So how much of that money are you then really seeing?
Yeah, true.
And then like you get people who sign like album deals or single deals. Or an album deal could be a good example. There's bare American rappers who sign album deals, 6-7 albums. or
yeah,
whatever.
6-7 album. Imagine
Bruv,
that.
That money is being shared for 7 albums going forward. It's only until after that you're starting to see all your money come to you if you're still
But
popping and you're still making
bro,
music.
I'm not gonna lie. If I walk in there and they tell me I got to sign like a 7-8 album deal, I'm like, well, that would ring bells to me because I'm like, I don't know if I can be here for
No, but
7-8
how
albums.
educated
bro.
are you at the point when you've walked into that room and have said that?
That is the key.
That's
education.
true. But the way my brain thinks, I always think ahead.
Listen.
No matter what. No, but I'm saying no. Hey,
If
what I'm
you're
saying.
a popping rapper at 15 years of age and they say to you, sign this deal,
Yeah, you're not thinking
and they
like
put
that.
like 100 racks
Do you not
in
know?
front of
Do
you,
you not know
you
my?
are gassed.
No, do you not know my brain? The money will gas, man. But the longevity of certain things.
Do you know
will
how much
not.
crap you can buy with 100K
forget
at
that.
15?
Forget that.
At 15, if someone said I'm giving you
Bro,
500
I've-
bags, fam, you're
Listen,
not thinking about.
I've always been
know
hella
what it is,
mature
though?
and hella advanced for my age. Bro. Like no matter when I was younger, me saying 7-8 albums to me, that's
Wait,
a lot, you know.
Let me ask you this question.
I'm
innit?
sorry.
So you're coming from the block here. You've never even seen a grand in your life.
and you see 500.
They're giving you £1 million for 10 albums. What are you saying?
I don't know if I can deliver 10 albums. I'm telling them I don't know if I can
No,
deliver
but
10
hold on. Smokes, hold on.
You love to make music.
Yes,
anyway.
yes, exactly that. You love to make music.
At
That's
15, you've got nothing else to do.
Exactly. They're telling you,
10
I'm gonna
albums?
pay you
What
money.
music that I like to do.
Yeah.
10 albums.
What?
100 bags.
They're paying you for something you
Nah,
love
you've
doing
gone
at
mad.
the time.
You've gone
You
mad.
love
You've
doing
gone
it
mad.
already.
You've gone
Them man, they will
mad.
make the...
Bro,
I understand.
One.
Fam,
Tales of the Smokes.
Okay, a good example, yeah.
Second album, Chimley.
Smokes, think about that this year now, yeah.
This guy.
even with podcasting now, imagine when you first started this, fam, yeah, and someone picked up your work and thought, you know what, you got potential, you're good. We want to sign you for like say
1,000 episodes.
1,000 episodes. What? Man are gonna pay me for that shit for 1,000 episodes, but when it starts to feel like work and it gets techie, and you feel like I could have been making more money off this, and you realize I got bumped, bruv, you're gonna realize.
Would you do
Fam,
that?
I understand.
No,
This is what I'm saying. You don't have to understand man's brain.
I understand. I understand
the
something.
pod, yeah, I set up the whole business before man set up a pod. Before I knew I wanted a global name, like I knew of every step that I wanted to do before I even stepped in the studio.
When they're catching you at your
but
lowest point.
You gotta stop. I understand what you're saying about foresight, yeah?
Yeah.
But if somebody said to you, here's a M
Yep.
for doing something you
Life-changing
love to
money,
do,
bro.
yeah, you're gonna evaluate the same when you're evaluating. Can I do 10 albums? You're gonna evaluate the M.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna do. And whatever shortcomings, whatever shortcomings.
My house.
You get what I'm saying? Whatever.
My kids' school soon.
You're not gonna
house straight away.
You're gonna have that. You're gonna have that.
But you
No,
couldn't
I'm
offer
having
me
that
a
one, bro.
meal. You couldn't offer me a meal right now. Now a
Bro,
meal is
huh?
good. Bro,
Listen
a meal
to
is
me.
good.
Stop.
No.
That man
Stop.
got bread, fam.
Stop.
Must have bread.
Yeah, he's rich.
Hey,
Bruv,
I'm
100 bags of 50.
I'm not rich.
Huh?
But I
Man came
know
this week, he's rich,
A
he's rich.
million ain't.
Bruv.
You know what it is? I study a lot of things, innit? So when I study a lot of things, yeah, and I notice that certain things don't last, I know a million ain't gonna last for long, fam. Like I already
because of you,
calculate.
though.
No, wait 1 second. I already calculate what you just said. Man can get a yard. Man can get a car. Like, but by the time I buy that, I'm probably buy my mum's yard and get these other things. You know the money's done, innit?
Hold on,
Really?
But you know what else
Your
though?
mum's got her yard.
Exactly.
It don't matter. I need to think of investment. I need to think long
Right,
term.
but think about
I
it.
think
Okay,
long
jokes
term,
aside,
you
yeah.
know, fam.
Jokes
My
aside,
brain
at this age, if you've
is
got a
different,
million,
fam.
you'll probably be thinking about how you can flip this cool. But at the same time, it's like if you've got nothing, fam, and you're thinking this is life
And your
changing
mum's
money,
working 3 jobs.
bro,
lie.
you want to make your mum chill, fam.
What are you saying?
I don't know, but this is what I'm saying. When I was younger,
Alright, cool.
yeah,
It was-
I'm
ready to go.
I know. Wait. No, illness.
Alright,
Because I'm
next.
like bare man when I was younger was doing fraud and all of these things, fam. Swiping cards, fam. Bags.
No, but this
You
is
can
legal money.
No. But forget the legal money.
You can't forget that bit. That's more
can sleep at
important.
night,
But
fam.
let me explain something.
No
I'm
stress.
trying to put something in perspective of like I've never seen an M, so I don't know innit. But I've seen where man have just said to me, "Yo, if we bust this move, we're getting 100 bags." But you lot do that then, fam. I'm not on that because I know the consequences of like. But I will do something else.
Imagine
I will
100
get you.
bags with no
Yeah,
consequence,
but this is what I'm saying to you. I can get people for you, and I'll move it to the middleman and just give them my
And
chain.
then they bump
But
you and leave
always-
you up because
Yeah, no,
of it.
but that's
Then what?
no, but they can't bump, man.
They
because
can bump
I'm
you.
in the bro. I'm
Bro,
bringing
the
it.
moment they link, man, and they drop you out, then what?
Let
Bro,
me
let
finish.
him
But
finish.
let me finish, fam. How
Alright,
can you,
sorry,
this
sorry,
is
go on,
experience
go on,
man's
go on.
gone through.
Go on.
Bro, when people put up them racks in front of man, I was the man to get I'm not doing that on my card. I'll get the people and I get my piece, fam. And I always got my piece, fam. Like, bro, I always think ahead, fam. It don't matter how much money bro, the bear man come to me and said, yo, when I was broke, bro, man are telling me, yo, if we bust this move, we're getting 80 bags
Okay, wait.
each. Bro.
Okay, wait. So right now,
man's
wait,
heard
1
them
second.
silly
Question.
Come
numbers
on,
as
bro.
well
No.
still.
And I'm like, you don't do that then.
1
fam.
second, 1 second.
Bring me later, innit?
Wait.
Come on, bro. I'm not stupid,
No,
fam. I
question,
always think
question,
ahead,
question.
bro. I've always been like that.
Let me ask you this now. Okay, so if somebody turned up here and said to you, look, I'll give you $1 million for 5 episodes of your pod, innit? What are you saying?
5 course, fam. 5 episodes in
No,
December,
sorry,
fam.
5 seasons.
Without
5
even
seasons.
saying what strings are attached. The
You get
first
me?
thing
Man
you
just
said is
said-
course, fam.
Yeah, see?
Fam, you're giving
See,
me
you
$1
know what I
million
said?
for 5 episodes.
With
No,
what
okay,
strings?
What
wait,
I know if the next
wait,
5
wait,
episodes.
wait.
What 5 episodes?
Five
The
seasons. I
episodes
meant 5
went
seasons.
massive, fam.
Fam.
Earning way more
And then
people.
you
Then
find
what?
out in next podcast, yeah? got
That's
like
my
20.
contract over.
What was the original question?
My
What
contract
was the
over
original
after
question?
five.
What's that?
Do you remember what the original question was?
Because he always does.
Yeah,
this,
I had
We were
I was
talking
about to break it down, like actually break it down. But it's gone.
Distribution.
Distribution.
No,
no.
independent versus not independent.
No, we was.
We're talking about
We
distribution.
was
Don't
further
bust
down.
that, fam.
Anyway, what I think I was gonna say is that.
No, we were saying that people get bad contracts.
Bad
And
contracts.
Yeah, and get long contracts and 7, 8. Like obviously, it depends. Well, not obviously. I hate starting the conversation. But obviously, anyway, what I'm saying is this: we've been through a long learning curve, and that's why I said education is key, because back in the day, like, it's really technical, but back in the day, a lot of people were just singers. They didn't write no music, they didn't do nothing, and they would see the contract and they would sign it, and then basically what would happen then is that their records are selling, they're making millions and millions and millions, but what they don't know, aside from the fact that they've got to get back that advance, they're paying everybody's wages.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Independent, you're just paying your man them. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that's kind of a big thing. But we've gone, and then coming all the way forward, there was a lot more I was going to say, but to cut all of that out, you got people like Wiley that will take your money. Like, that, no. He will take your money. And if you don't play ball with him, the way you're supposed to play ball with him, he'll cut out. There's nothing you can do.
No, but Wiley's a very smart Donny.
Exactly.
Very smart.
That's why when you're going with this whole situation about I'm smart and I'll do, no. You think like Wiley. That's what you do. That's what you do.
I'm not going to just be like with Wiley.
No, but that's what you do. That's how you finesse the piece.
You have to
You're offering me this money. Okay, let me see what I can do with this money that's coming in. So all I have to do for this money is deliver this. I've got to sell this amount to get this next contract. So what if I put out something that's not all of that and it don't sell that amount and our contract's void? And you can't take this piece that you've already given me back.
But
do you get what I'm saying?
That's another thing, though.
But we weren't there years ago. Before we were, that's why you had people like Michael Jackson and like huge people saying like, "Where's my masters? Where's my this? Where's my that?" Because they just literally
that's why they
signed.
killed off Michael Jackson. Though. He was about to grab his masters and but that's why they killed him.
That is not an uncommon. That is not
bro.
Uncommon
Because
thing.
he was about to buy out.
So
he was going to buy Sony, fam. It makes
bro,
sense,
he
fam.
owned the masters to
he owned
the
the
Beatles,
masters
didn't
to Beatles, fam. But they had to kill him, bro.
They had to.
Fam.
They was
That's
like,
why
bro,
the
Beatles,
album
bro.
was This Is It.
But let's not
Right.
speculate.
Kill him.
No, they had to kill him, fam.
This guy.
Bro,
Let's
you see
speculate.
that concert? That concert I was going to work at, 50 shows, like at O2
Listen
I was
to
going
me,
to work
that
at,
concert-
fam. And they murdered my man, fam. I was upset because I was getting, bro, let me tell you how
I
deep.
thought all the overtime I could collect.
Bro,
from
not
that
even the
was-
overtime. Let me tell you something, yeah. I bumped into the owner of O2. I tried to get a job with him. I was like, bro, hire me. He was like, no, I can't do that because you're sublet, whatever. Boom. Yeah.
Man dismissed you.
Yeah, no, I did quickly. He shut man down like I can't do that. I was like, rah, they'll take me when I'm ready and boom, get me. But I'm that kind of person. But he could have closed down O2 for 5 years. He had enough. Michael Jackson was bringing enough revenue for O2 to close down for 5 years, and they would have been good.
Everyone knew he was the biggest artist in the world. Man.
The big bro.
Biggest.
Come on,
king
my
of pop,
G. And then,
man.
bruv, he wants to own his masters, own the Beatles, and take over
Have
Sony.
any of you lot cancelled him, by the way? That's a good. I
Nah,
don't
man,
know.
man, they
No,
can't
man
cancel
don't
Michael,
cancel.
fam. He's cool.
So man,
fam.
don't cancel.
Huh?
Not Michael.
No, we
Not
cancel.
Michael.
Not Michael
Oh, you
Jackson.
cancel, but okay, because
There's no proof with Michael. Innit?
Yeah, there's no proof,
proof,
fam.
fam.
He just had a theme park to allow kids to come in.
come out now and said that she was a victim. Do you think she's chatting shit? She's trying to get peas.
But you can't
R.
get peas
Kelly,
because he ain't got
one of his
peas.
ex-girlfriends has come out saying, "Oh, she was a victim. She thought that she was
But she
a
can't
victim
get
of what?
peas.
of what the madness he was doing."
Well, whatever.
Obviously, the argument is that she probably was suffering some sort of Stockholm syndrome too, innit?
why am I laughing at Stockholm syndrome now? That's deep.
How old is she?
Laughing is just the way.
But I think
how old she is now.
I think his thing is the underage gal, yeah.
I think
And he's bruh.
she moved in from when she was 19. Because you remember he had that living girlfriend, innit? The one that lived with him.
Have you cancelled R. Kelly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, come
Did
on,
you know what? I'm not gonna lie to
I
you.
feel like I heard you playing one of the dances.
Oh my god!
You know what? That was weak. Don't give him a forward for that. That was weak. That was
I know
weak.
I was gonna assist
That was
as well.
so
You know, I was
weak.
gonna.
Yeah, I know
assist.
you was gonna
That was
assist.
so weak.
Yeah, but he stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah, that was weak, bro. What I'm saying is this,
Nah,
yeah.
joking, I'm
I
joking.
actually deleted R. Kelly from my whole laptop. Like delete.
that's grown, yeah, that's grown.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was.
But
it
why
was-
though?
Because I can't support. Listen, you see
But
what?
he
Yeah?
hasn't been caught.
You see what I'm saying, yeah?
He's in jail right now, fam.
Listen,
Is he in
listen.
jail?
Listen, he's in jail. He's been in jail for time. He's been in jail for time.
I can listen, Joe.
He's been
Jail,
in
Well, you
jail
don't know he's
for
in-
time.
Yeah, he's in jail.
Listen, let me tell you something.
He
yeah?
tried to get moved so that he can be moved away from like general population.
Yeah.
He said
He
no.
needs to be cancelled then if he's in jail.
But
Listen.
you lot didn't know he's in jail.
No.
Yeah, but
you
then
can't
again,
cancel,
but
you
you
can't
can
cancel
be-
someone just because
He's
they're in
not
jail.
charged.
I
Yeah,
can't do
No,
that.
no,
But
no,
what
no,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
is this.
Wait. I'm not
What I'm
saying
saying
just
is this,
because
yeah?
he's in jail. If he's in jail and was he being charged?
No.
No, he's not charged yet.
Okay,
He's not
then it's
charged.
alright.
What I'm saying
So
is
we
this,
say
yeah?
you not cancelled him.
No, if music comes out, listen.
Nah, fam, listen to the lyrics
Yeah, you're
of some
sick
of his
still
songs,
because
fam.
what I'm saying is this,
Man's
yeah.
talking
There's
Asian nothing
eyewitness.
but a number.
No, but there's eyewitness. There's an
cancelled.
eyewitness account of a man slapping
Is it
out
Asian nothing but a
15-year-old Aaliyah.
Cancelled.
It's done.
Fam, and he
She's
was
a
dancing-
pygmy.
But hold on 1 minute. But when
So we
you
cancel
want-
Ben's
wait, hold
Hamlet.
1 minute. Hold 1 minute.
So we cancelling Ben's Hamlet.
No, hold on 1 minute.
let him finish,
So
let him go.
when you're trying to get onto a big woman now and she's turfing, you saying, right, yeah, young. What, you don't say Asian number a number?
No, hold on. Let me finish.
He got
Beer
you in
man
that one.
said that.
He got you in a corner
Beer
there.
man has said
That's a
that.
headlock.
Relax.
Them man have done that, fam.
Stay calm. Hold on. But the thing is, it's a bit mad what R. Kelly was doing because
Yeah.
Aaliyah's singing that year. She was underage at the time, and my man's there dancing in the background, bro. I'm not clocking these things, but now I look back, I'm thinking this is all mad, fam.
Yeah, that's mad.
This is mad.
I don't want to talk about R. Kelly no more, but yeah.
Nah.